Hi, I'm Polk with RV Education 101. It's nice not to have a truck payment, but my Dodge Ram is starting to show its age. It's my daily driver, so I thought it would be cool to give the truck a fresh new update. My plan is to replace all the tires with a slightly larger and wider tire and upgrade the wheels with something more stylish than the OEM wheels that came on the truck. To pull off this new updated look with even more style, protection, and extra tire coverage, I'm installing some Bushwacker fender flares. Bushwacker offers a wide selection of fender flare styles so you can get the special look that you're after. In my case, I like the Bushwacker pocket style fender flares. Let the transformation begin. What I really like about these fender flares is there's no body side drilling or cutting involved. You simply install the flares using the existing factory holes. The pocket style flares come with a decorative stainless steel hardware for a bolt-on look without touching the vehicle's surface, and the flares will add up to 2.5 inches of tire coverage when they are installed. Make sure you follow all notes and cautions in the installation instructions prior to proceeding. Bushwacker only approves installing the fender flares according to these written instructions with the hardware provided. Failure to install according to these instructions will invalidate the warranty. The first step was deciding on a color. The fender flares came with an OEM matte black finish, which I liked, but I decided to paint them to match the OEM color of my truck. If you decide to paint the fender flares, it is recommended you do it prior to installation. Sand lightly and clean the outer surface with a good grade degreaser. Do not use lacquer thinner or enamel reducer as a degreaser. Wipe the outer surface thoroughly with a tack rag and paint the flares using a high quality lacquer, enamel, or polyurethane automotive paint. Application of a primer coat is optional. Fender flares may interfere with existing decals on your vehicle. You may want to remove the decals prior to installing the fender flares. You have the option to support the vehicle on jack stands and remove the tires and wheels, or install the flares with the tires on the vehicle. Edge trim installation. Peel 2 to 3 inches of red vinyl backing away from the edge trim tape and affix to the outer edge of the flare at one end. Press the edge trim into place along the edge of the flare in 1-foot increments, pulling the red vinyl backing free as you continue to work your way around the flare. Put a washer on each bolt and install the bolt and washer combination through each pocket hole in the flare with the bolt head and washer on the outside. Place a nut over the end of each bolt and tighten using a 1/2-inch wrench on the nut and the supplied Torx bit for the bolt. Repeat on all remaining pockets. On some model trucks, the logo on the front fender needs to be removed before installing flares. Front flare installation. Remove 3 factory installed screws and set aside for use later on the installation of the front flare. Hold a front fender flare to the vehicle and reinstall the 3 factory screws. Press firmly on the flare and tighten the screws. This completes the front flare installation. Rear flare installation. Remove 2 factory installed screws and set aside for later. Install a clip nut onto the sheet metal at each of the 2 holes located in the lower front area of the rear wheel well opening. Hold the flare in place and mark 3 locations with a marker using the holes in the flare as a guide. Install the tab on sheet metal centered over the mark. Slide a clip over each tab. Hold the flare in place on the vehicle and start the screws through the holes in the flare, clips, and into the factory holes using a number 2 Phillips screwdriver. Do not tighten. Start the 2 factory screws using an 8mm socket. Using an awl or other similar pointed tool, make sure that the 3 clips are lined up with the flare holes. Start 3 screws through the holes in the flare and into the clips using a number 2 Phillips screwdriver. Do not tighten. Press firmly on the flare and tighten all screws. Your Bushwacker Fender flares are installed. That's all there is to it. The new Bushwacker pocket style Fender flares gives my older Dodge Ram a stylish updated look, and when I install the new tires and wheels, the upgrade will be complete. Take a minute to visit www.bushwacker.com to see what style Fender flares are available for the year and make vehicle you have and get started on your own upgrade today.